Hey everybody, it's Yasmin here. It's a bit late in the day for me, but I thought I would hop on and have a chat about kind of like the elephant in the room, actually. Here in England, we have just been told that basically, is it too much to say Christmas is cancelled? It's not really cancelled. We're still going to have Christmas in our family. But they've discovered a new variant of the virus, which is 70% more contagious. It's not actually 70% more dangerous, which is great. In fact, they think it's just exactly the same amount of danger as the other one. But because it's so contagious and because some people really don't respond very well to this virus and end up in hospital, they're basically having to flatten the curve. And I thought I'd get on and talk about this in the context of the astrology. So I just wanted to reiterate for people who haven't been following all the way along, those of you who have been, you'll have heard this before. But essentially what we're dealing with here is a new chapter. So the coronavirus really kicked off this year with, for me, and I think for a lot of astrologers, the significators were the Jupiter-Pluto conjunctions that we had in April, June, and the end of November. And, they really seemed to be the beginning, the middle, and then the vaccine is how it worked out. I mean, obviously we were all hoping it would be the end, but the vaccine isn't quite the end of it. And so I'm as upset as anyone about what's happening over Christmas, quite apart from the fact that I haven't been able to go to Australia to see my mum and my sister and my friends for however long, or to do my workshops that I wanted to do there this year and all that. I mean, workshops just sound completely irrelevant, but, seeing my mum and my sister, all that. And I've missed my friends a lot, not being able to see people, not being relaxed and all that. And we'd arranged to see friends Christmas Eve, Christmas night, and Boxing Day. And I was kind of thinking, is it irresponsible? Are we being irresponsible? But I mean, I know that none of us seem to have the virus. We all seem very well. Anyway, the decision's now been taken out of our hands, which is something of a relief. But I thought I would talk about it in the context of the astrology as well. Because what's happened is this week, as you know, we have had Jupiter and Saturn moving into Aquarius. So it's very much the next chapter of life, the universe, and everything, including the coronavirus. So we now have is it 300,000 people have been vaccinated, including Mike Pence in the States, and I don't know which other celebrities have gone and got jabbed on live television. But, basically they're starting to roll out the vaccine, and hopefully it's going to do an amazing, amazing job. But where does this leave us in the astrology? So in the short term, I think that it's safe to say that Jupiter and Saturn meeting, which is effectively happening now, like if you read reports, including my reports, any reports, they're meeting on Monday, but I just had a look at them. They're already partile, like they're both on 0 degrees of Aquarius. So we already are in the Jupiter-Saturn conjunction, which is something I've written about a lot, and I've told you about a lot. And I do have I never know if it's up there or down there, but I think it's down there actually. Not down there. It's below here. The free report, which if you haven't got it yet, we've had like 28,000 people have downloaded it. So please be my guest, download it. It's completely free. And it will tell you all about Jupiter and all about Saturn. It will explain to you, the positive and the negative, because both of them have all planets have positives and negatives. And yeah, so the link is there. Please grab it. And if you grab it, once you get it, we'll also offer you 50% off my Jupiter Saturn workshop that I did, the Rewards and Challenges Reclaim workshop. Anyway, which will tell you all about the astrology of next year. The point is, Jupiter is the fun planet, okay? Jupiter is the planet of good times and cheerfulness and good luck and good fortune and lady luck. And Saturn is the serious effing fun buster of the zodiac. Have you ever heard that expression, someone being a fun buster? My sister and her friend David Spicer used to always say that. Oh, he's such a fun buster. You're just being a fun buster. Well, Saturn is the ultimate fun buster. And so what we have here is we have Jupiter and Saturn meeting up now. And here we are, everyone's fun has just been busted. You know, there's no, in England at least, in the UK pretty much. I don't know what they're doing in the States. I'm pretty sure they're in heavy lockdown in Europe. And I know in Sydney, they've just had another cluster outbreak, which they're all locking down their borders and all that to fix up. So what does it all mean? Well, it does turn out it is a fun busted Christmas. I mean, this is like Christmas is cancelled. It's like all those American films where Christmas is cancelled and then at the last minute it's not, except I don't think this time we're going to get the not. I think Christmas is more or less, you know, in a bigger sense cancelled. I mean, we're still going to have a lovely time here. We've got our turkey crown that we have for the three of us and all that. Karen's saying, I'm a Cancer moonchild. What does it mean for me? So everybody, please get the free PDF, the rewards and challenges, and it tells you in there by your star sign or your rising sign, is it your love zone or your money zone or your travel zone or your work zone or whatever? Where are you being hit? Because that's where you need to know. But what I want to say was this. I think I can speak for the whole of England, but obviously I can't, number one. And actually I can already think of one really good friend of mine who's told me that she's really happy that Christmas has sort of been cancelled because she was in a real quandary because she's got lots and lots of family that she couldn't work out who to see because there were too many people and it was all getting a bit difficult. So some people are going to be relieved. But, you know, I think a lot of people are going to be feeling like, just when we were looking forward to seeing our friends and raising a glass and all that. So where does that leave us if Jupiter and Saturn are moving up and Jupiter's the fun planet and Saturn's the fun buster planet? Well, I'm afraid our fun is being busted, yes. But I think there are two mitigating factors here. In fact, I think there are three things to say. The first is that Jupiter is like King Midas, you know, everything he touches turns to gold. And Jupiter also can be, even though Jupiter really represents Zeus and is more masculine, you know, you can say Jupiter represents Lady Luck because Jupiter is about luck. And I hope that by the very fact that Jupiter is going to go over Saturn, I hope it's going to be like the Midas touch of kind of, you know, turning Saturn to gold a little bit. You know, let's hold a positive vibration about it at least, you know, that what's happening now is actually for our own good. Because the thing is with Saturn is arguably the most difficult planet. I mean, it's really between Saturn and Pluto, and you could say Mars as well, but it's really between Saturn and Pluto. And Pluto is very often just psychological and intangible. So I think Saturn gets the prize as the most difficult planet, even though I actually don't, touch wood, I seem to have a relatively good relationship with Saturn. But Saturn does things for our own good. Saturn is karma. Saturn is what you reap is what you sow, or what you sow is what you reap, you know? And in a way, you know, it's probably quite good that, you know, the governments of the world, in our case, Boris Johnson, have got up and said, you know, and said made the hard decision. And I don't envy him, you know. I really don't envy him having to tell the whole country that Christmas is basically, you know, suddenly it's just you and your family, which is lovely. I'm not saying it's not. We are so happy. We have a Christmas tree with lots of beautiful presents, and we always have a nice time, and sometimes we have just the three of us by choice, so it's not like a bad thing, but it's just not seeing our friends and anyway. Saturn is the karmic planet. Saturn is the planet that says, do what I told you to do or there'll be trouble. And so I think what's going on here, you could almost see it like this, is that this is for our own good. Saturn is the you make your bed, you lie in it planet. It's the school teacher of the zodiac. And Jupiter's the amplification planet. They've all have different meanings, you know, various meanings. So having Jupiter and Saturn in the same place at the same time, you know, it's really about this is for our own good. And this is because we couldn't grow up. And this is because we've been naughty. And it's also because they sent the kids to school. And that's funny because Saturn is school. You know, like, of course it was going to spread because the kids are going off to school every day and, you know, coughing all over each other and coming back and cuddling us and, you know, whatever. But it hopefully is for our own good because there's something which I've been saying all year. Well, ever since, you know, March or April when this whole thing really kicked off. Next year, so I've got my diary here. I haven't got it here. Oh, yeah, there it is. Next year, if you don't have my beautiful diary, there it is. Next year, it's a big year and it's a tough year. And as I keep saying, when I sat down to write this about 18 months ago, it's the Moonology Diary for 2021, if you don't have it, selling like hotcakes, baby. Oh my God, we have got such good bonuses. If you've bought it already, you are eligible, you will get them. And if you haven't bought it, wait till I tell you where to buy it or buy it and then just keep your ears tuned because it might sell out. Anyway, when I sat down to write that diary, I was like, what the heck is going to be happening in 2021? And now, of course, I know it's going to be all this stuff. Now, just finishing off, and then I'll do a card for anyone who wants a card. In a nutshell, next year we have now Saturn in Aquarius, all through next year. Now, Saturn is, amongst other things, the planet of lockdown. You know, it's the planet of concrete. It's the planet of weights and keeping you stuck where you are. And Aquarius is the sign of humanity. And, you know, nothing really says humanity in lockdown like Saturn in Aquarius, frankly. Moreover, next year, Saturn is going to be clashing with the planet of chaos and revolution, Uranus. And again, in my diary, I haven't reread it again lately, but I know what it's going to say. It's going to say things like about wanting to break free and what's making you feel trapped, because I didn't know about the pandemic when I wrote it. I just knew there were going to be people saying, let me out of here, I want to get out of here. And I'm worried that if we don't, you know, do this Jupiter-Saturn thing properly and do the hard yards and stay home at Christmas and not go out at New Year's and all that stuff that we want to do, then next year could be, you know, like the straw that breaks the camel's back. Because, I mean, I think the first lockdown was kind of a novelty. The second lockdown took a bit more conscious living to get through. And I think another big lockdown like that will be really, you know, it will be the end of some businesses, for one thing. It will be the end of some relationships as well, because I'm sure a lot of people, well, especially they say a lot of kids, you know, a lot of kids are being damaged by this. So we have to do the right thing. And, you know, again, nothing says do the right thing like Jupiter conjunct Saturn, which we've got right now. So we have to all put up with it. Lise, will you talk about Jupiter changing signs on Monday? Well, yes, but I'm kind of talking about it right now. You know, it's like Jupiter and Saturn have changed signs. It's happening. We are in it. And this is what it's coming out as. The thing about astrology is, you know, sometimes you just don't know how it's going to work out. Sometimes it can, you know, like Jupiter Neptune could be, you know, there's Jupiter Neptune coming up, and I think not this year, next year, and could be like people becoming really spiritual. It could be, you know, the legalization of cannabis all over the world, or, you know, it's like when you learn astrology, you'll see it's easier to dissect in retrospect. But I think that's because we have free will. We have free will. What happens next is not necessarily set in stone. You know, if we all ignore the lockdown and keep walking around and, you know, I mean, I'm not saying everybody has to wear a mask, but I wish they would. I mean, I know some people think it's all a big hallucination, and funnily enough, there is the astrology for that as well. But I don't think it's a hallucination. I really don't. I don't. Anyway, let's not get political. I don't want to get into that. All I'm saying is, I think astrologically, if you look at Jupiter, Saturn right now, it's saying do the right thing, do the tough thing. The tough thing is to stay home over Christmas and not see your friends and your family. But that's the smart thing and the wise thing. And Saturn is the wise planet. Okay? So if we don't want 2021 to be basically another year of masks and lockdown and social distancing and all that and washing our hands every 5.5 nanoseconds, then it's really going to be about what we do now. So that's the long and the short of it. I also wanted to mention that January the 11th, so not that long away now, it's like 3 weeks. Actually, Jupiter, you know, because Jupiter actually moves faster than Saturn, which is actually quite good, because I do think it's going to get better. I do. And Jupiter's going to go over Saturn and keep going. It's actually going to sextile Chiron, and there's quite a lot of these next year, and it's a kind of a healing vibe. So hopefully we all do the right thing now and have Christmas on Zoom, and then we can start the healing process again, you know. And as they roll out the vaccine, there'll be less and less people getting sick. And as there are less and less people getting sick, you know, it's going to be better. Now, someone's saying here, I don't think I have the mental stability to do the wise thing. That's Maria. Now, that's a very interesting comment, because in fact, in astrology, Saturn represents both wisdom and stability, you know? So try and tap into that energy. And the other thing is as well that when a planet changes signs, which they've both just done this week, Saturn and Jupiter, it's extraordinary that they've both done it in the same week, within 2 days of each other, that's when you feel the most. So, you know, it's time for us all, I suppose, just to talk about the elephant in the room, which is 2021 and what's going to happen. So what we do now is probably going to have a big impact. So there you go, and here's to the healing. And again, if you don't have my free Jupiter-Saturn report and you want to know more, and you want to know where it's taking place in your chart, and you want to know more about Jupiter, and you want to know more about Saturn, and you want to know how it's going to play out for you, the link is above or below, depending on where it is, I can't remember. And on Instagram, if you go to moonmessages.com/J for Jupiter, S for Saturn 2020. moonmessages.com/JS 2020. You can have the free download with my pleasure and I hope it helps you. All right, so let's do a card, because I know people love a card. Who doesn't love a card on a Saturday night? Sarah says it didn't download. Try again, Sarah. We've had like 28,000 downloads, so it's working. It just, maybe it gets overrun. Oh, have you got a question, guys? Have you got a question? Yeah, no, I think I mean, I really think we have to consider the fact that Saturn's squaring Uranus next year, and it's either going to be the fallout and the aftershocks, because that's one possibility, especially financially, or it could be more effing lockdown, and I, for one, do not want that. So please, let's all do the right thing. Jupiter Saturn says do the right thing. Let's all do the right thing. All right, I have the card here. I have the card. Oops, upside down. What does it say? Interesting in the light of what we're talking about. Step out of your comfort zone. So that's like Maria was saying, she feels like she's going to lose it if she behaves wisely. Well, step out of your comfort zone and be wise. Erica, are you on the right path? Step out of your comfort zone. You know? Am I doing my purpose work? Step out of your comfort zone. Teresa says your words should be mainstream. Finally, all makes sense. That's funny because guess who called me today to speak to me about Jupiter Saturn? But Sky News. Doesn't get much more mainstream than that. I actually didn't get their message till about 5 o'clock, by which time everybody was going crazy with the news about Boris announcing the lockdown. So we might do it tomorrow or Monday, and that's very mainstream. All right, okay, so everybody, face a fear and get over it. Time to stop obsessing about someone or something. That's if you're asking a love question. Stand on your own 2 feet. You've got this. This card is all about living your life purpose. It's urging you to do something different with your life and your direction. So are you willing to follow through and lead the life you incarnated to live here? There you go. Alrighty. So there we go. Shall I end with a chant? I'll end with a quick chant. Someone's saying they're feeling high anxiety. Let's do the chakra clearing chant. I'll just do it once. Alicia says Saturn is the crone we all need in our life right now. Yeah, we surely do. We always need the crone, the maiden, the mother, and the crone. Yes, and actually Alicia's also saying we only get what we can handle. And, you know, that's always true with Saturn. And the other thing that's always true with Saturn, which is kind of pertinent to what's going on right now, is that Saturn is always old news. Like, it's always that stuff you knew you were coming, that you were sweeping under the rug, you know? And what have we been doing with the coronavirus? I mean, not so much in Australia. They've been pretty good down there. But I think in the Northern Hemisphere, we have pretty much just, you know, like, I am so happy that my son is back at school because for him, for his sake, you know, he's 14. He should be at school. He shouldn't be at home with us all day long. But what did we think was going to happen when we sent them all back to school? Come on, you know, and everybody else went to work and everybody was just like together. You know, that's Saturn. Saturn's old news. Saturn's the stuff you were trying to avoid, sweeping under the carpet. Now it's time to step up. Saturn is saying, I am Saturn, listen to me. And it's time to do the right thing. So there we are. Okay, so we're going to end with, sorry, I didn't mean to speak like Saturn just then. That was a bit weird. Okay, sounded a bit like Darth Vader. I'm going to end with a chant. Here we go. Hari Om Nam Lam Mam Vam Sim Ram Vam Yam Yam Ham Shiva Ram Swaha. And now let's give everything, including this situation, to the divine. All right? With 3 Om Namo Narayanis. Give anything you need to surrender to the divine. Everything happens for our soul's evolution. Om Namo Narayani. Om Namo Narayani. All right, so Jupiter Saturn is in the house. It's all happening. Free PDF for you to download. And we've taken 50% off the workshop. And also, if you're one of the people who wants to get the New Moon Connection cards, I think that when you buy the, when you get the free download, I think we also offer you the Full Moon Connection cards because we've been selling lots of them. Actually, we honestly, genuinely don't have many left. And we're going to have to order a new stock of them, and we're going to get them packaged up this time because my poor husband has done like, I don't know how many hundreds or thousands of packs. But they've all been sent out. We send them out constantly. All right. Lots of love. Remember, I think I've kind of worked it out while I've been talking. I think Jupiter Saturn's telling us to do the right thing so that 2021's better. If you don't know what I'm talking about, watch the start of the video. Lots of love.